Imagine a stock that is completely invisible to most retail investors. No hype, no trending tweets, no loud Wall Street attention. Just a quiet name sitting in the AI corner of the market. Veritone. And here's where the story gets interesting. Because sometimes in the stock market, the biggest opportunities don't come from the loudest companies. They come from the silent ones. Veritone was built with a simple but powerful idea. Use artificial intelligence to understand massive amounts of audio, video, and digital data. Think about it. Police recordings, court hearings, media broadcasts, corporate meetings, security footage, all of this is unstructured data. Too big for humans, too complex for traditional software. Veritone tried to solve this problem using AI. They built a platform called aiWARE, a system designed to process, analyze, and organize media data using artificial intelligence. At first, this idea sounded futuristic. Investors were curious. Some were excited. But excitement does not always turn into success, because when Veritone entered the market, reality slowly started to appear. Revenue growth was inconsistent. Losses continued. Cash burn became a concern. And slowly, the stock started losing its early momentum. What once looked like a strong AI growth story started turning into a high-risk, uncertain bet. But this is not the end of the story. This is where it actually begins. Because while Veritone was struggling quietly, the world outside was changing fast. Artificial intelligence started exploding globally, not just in chatbots, but in real industries, automation, surveillance, data intelligence, legal systems, enterprise workflows. AI was becoming the new foundation of technology, and suddenly Veritone was still in the game. But now the question changed. Is Veritone ahead of its time, or simply falling behind? To answer that, we need to compare it with the AI giant everyone talks about, Palantir. Now let's bring Palantir into the story, because every small AI stock eventually gets compared to it. Palantir is not just another tech company. It is deeply connected with government systems, defense intelligence, military-grade data analysis, large enterprise decision-making. It is stable, it is trusted, and it is already profitable. Now look at Veritone. Veritone also works in AI and data intelligence, but in a very different way. It focuses more on media intelligence, audio and video processing, niche enterprise AI applications. So here is the clear difference. Palantir is infrastructure-level AI. Veritone is application-level AI. Palantir builds systems that governments and corporations depend on. Veritone builds tools for specific AI use cases. And in the stock market, this difference is very important, because infrastructure usually wins long-term. Now here comes the emotional question investors love. Can Veritone become the next Palantir? The answer is uncomfortable. No clear evidence supports that idea. But can it still grow significantly from here? That is where things become interesting, because Veritone is not a finished story. It is still evolving in a rapidly growing AI world. But we must also look at the risk side. Veritone has struggled with profitability, cash flow stability, competitive pressure, scaling challenges. And in today's AI race, competition is brutal. Big tech companies are moving aggressively into AI. So survival itself becomes a challenge for smaller players. This is why Veritone is not a safe investment story. It is a speculative AI story. And that brings us to the most exciting part. The 10x dream. But is it real? Or just imagination? Now let's talk about the part everyone is curious about. The 10x question. Can Veritone multiply many times in the future? Technically, yes. In small cap stocks, big moves are always possible, but only under specific conditions. First, AI demand must keep growing globally, not just chatbots, but enterprise AI, government AI, and media intelligence systems. Second, Veritone must improve its financial performance, meaning lower losses, better margins, more stable revenue growth. Third, the company needs strong partnerships or strategic deals. Sometimes in tech, growth does not come from internal strength alone. It comes from collaboration or acquisition. If all of this happens together, then a multi-bagger scenario is possible. But now let's be honest about the risk. Veritone is not stable. It has struggled with losses. It operates in a highly competitive AI market, and it is still trying to find consistent direction. This means the downside risk is real. Now here is the final twist in the story. Artificial intelligence is still in early stages. We are not at the end of the AI revolution. We are at the beginning. And in early technological cycles, something always happens. Some companies disappear, some stay average, and a few surprise everyone, not because they are the biggest today, but because they fit the right opportunity at the right time. And Veritone is still trying to find that position. So here is the final truth. Veritone is not the next Palantir. That comparison is too strong, but it is also not a dead stock. It is a high-risk, high-volatility AI company with uncertain future potential. My personal view is simple. Treat Veritone as speculation, not certainty. Because in the stock market, ideas are everywhere. But execution is rare. And only execution creates long-term winners. So the real question is not whether Veritone will 10x. The real question is, can it survive and adapt long enough to even try? And that answer is still being written.